The Gospel of Judas is an ancient text that made headlines in April 2006. It raised questions about Judas Iscariot, the disciple known for betraying Jesus. Some scholars said this text turned Judas into a hero, suggesting he understood Jesus and helped him be arrested. But is it genuine, and does it change our view of Christianity? The story of this gospel is as fascinating as its content. Unlike most ancient texts found through archaeological digs, this one popped up in the late 1970s or early 1980s on the antiquities market. Its exact discovery remains uncertain, but it's believed to have been found in Egypt in 1978, possibly in an old tomb or cave. It was part of a leather-bound book with 4 texts written in Coptic, a language from ancient Egypt. The book was in bad shape due to neglect, but in 2000, a Swiss antiquities dealer bought it. It later ended up in the hands of a team of experts working under the Maecenas Foundation for Ancient Art and the National Geographic Society. Their job was to restore and reconstruct the book because parts of it had deteriorated into tiny pieces. Carbon-14 dating confirmed that the book was from the 3rd or 4th century CE. Scholars think that the Gospel of Judas was originally written in Greek much earlier and then translated into Coptic. The Gospel of Judas belongs to a category called Gnostic Gospels. Gnosticism was a set of religious and philosophical beliefs that existed around the time of early Christianity. Gnostic texts often gave unique interpretations of Christian ideas and claimed to have secret knowledge. They believed the physical world was like a prison and that the God of the Hebrew Bible was a lesser deity opposed to higher gods. Those with this secret knowledge could seek liberation from the physical world. This Gnostic perspective is clear in the Gospel of Judas. It starts with the statement that it contains the secret word of declaration by which Jesus spoke in conversation with Judas Iscariot during 8 days, 3 days before he celebrated Passover. This sets the stage for a different take on Judas and his relationship with Jesus. The first known mention of a Gospel of Judas comes from Irenaeus, a Christian author in the late 2nd century CE. He wrote about a group he disagreed with, who believed that Judas understood the truth and carried out the betrayal mystery. They had a story called the Gospel of Judas. Irenaeus was concerned about various teachings of Gnostic Christians who claimed to have inner knowledge. Gnosticism covered various groups, each with its unique way of understanding Christian truths. Some said that significant apostles misunderstood Jesus, and only a few people had the secret teachings of Jesus. They believed that the physical world was like a prison, and the God of the Hebrew Bible was a lesser deity. Those who had this knowledge sought freedom from the physical world. The Gospel of Judas follows this Gnostic tradition. It presents Judas as the only disciple who genuinely understood Jesus. According to this gospel, Jesus shared secret knowledge with Judas, and Judas was the one who got Jesus arrested. The other apostles would appoint a replacement for Judas, but Judas would become the 13th spirit, surpassing all the others because, according to Jesus, you will sacrifice the man that clothes me. Prominent scholars in early Christianity and Gnosticism, such as Bart Ehrman and Elaine Pagels, supported the initial interpretation of the text by the original scholars. They believed that Judas was portrayed as a hero in this gospel. However, questions arose about the publication process. Some scholars, including April DeConnick and Birger Pearson, were concerned that the National Geographic Society rushed the text's release for media attention and skipped the usual academic practices like thorough analysis and peer review due to non-disclosure agreements. DeConnick and Pearson independently studied the text and suggested that some essential parts had been mistranslated. DeConnick's interpretation challenged the idea of Judas as a hero. According to her, Jesus called Judas the 13th demon and told him he wouldn't reach the kingdom. Instead, Jesus said Judas would do worse than the other disciples and sacrifice the man who covered Jesus. In the end, scholars, regardless of their perspective on Judas, do not consider the Gospel of Judas to provide reliable historical information. Bart Ehrman clarified that this gospel wasn't written by Judas or someone who knew him personally. It doesn't give us more insight into what happened during Jesus' lifetime. In conclusion, the Gospel of Judas is an ancient Gnostic text, likely written in Greek during the 2nd century CE. While there's still some debate about whether it's the same text mentioned by Irenaeus, it offers valuable insights into the diversity of beliefs within early Christianity. It doesn't confirm or disprove traditional Christian beliefs, but highlights the existence of various groups and doctrines during that time. This document exemplifies the dynamic nature of early Christian thought and the variety of interpretations and beliefs present during that era. It aligns with warnings in the Bible about false teachings and distortions emerging among early Christians, as Paul mentioned in Acts 20:29-30. I know that after my going away, from among you yourselves, men will rise and speak twisted things to draw away the disciples after themselves. The Gospel of Judas demonstrates the complexity of early Christian thought and the potential for different interpretations to arise.